Howdy again, folks. Rick from the Boondocking Bears. First of all, please excuse me sweating like a dog. It's about 90 degrees out here. I'm at Brock's Monument. It's right behind the camera here on the Niagara River in Niagara Falls, actually Niagara on the lake. And I'm doing this video because I was tired of doing them inside the house. And I wanted to do a video on, actually the first of a series of videos on my bucket list item, the biggest one I've got, which is a North American backroads tour on the Can-Am Spyder. So this is going to be the introduction video, and it's really asking you folks to give me a hand. I'm going to lay out in stages through various videos where I'm going to head. There's quite a few of them. This is going to take 2-3 months, maybe even more, to do this tour, and I've got a lot of places that I want to hit, but it occurred to me that my viewers live in various areas that I might be visiting and know a lot of the spots that I might never know. So I'm asking you to suggest places that I should visit as I get to your area. And I'll go through the spots that I've picked already. And so this will be a series of videos on, as I say, my biggest bucket list item. So that's the purpose of the video. Hope it works. Tell me what you think below and subscribe if you like it. Okay, so first off, I should explain some self-imposed guidelines I have for this trip so you folks understand that what I'm trying to do here. And the first one is that there is no time frame for this tour. If it takes 2 months or 4 months, it's really up to me. And this gives me the freedom of not having to stick to a schedule. So if I want to take a side trip to see something, or I want to spend a few extra days where I am, I can do it. And the second guideline is to stay in small town hotels once a week. And really the reason for this is twofold. First, it gives me a chance to do my laundry and edit and then upload some videos from the week's travel. And also a chance to get to know the locals, even if it's just a hotel staff, to hear their stories about the area and accept suggestions of things I might want to do or see that I didn't know of. The third guideline is a really biggie. Only for expediency or necessity will I take an interstate or major highway. Now, doing so to me defeats the whole purpose of this trip. So it's back roads and country lanes for me. And if anyone can suggest a computer program or app better than Google Maps or even a Garmin GPS that has gas stations, hotel campgrounds, and points of interest available, so I can customize the route that I want to take each day, I'd welcome suggestions. Now, the other big variable through this process is, of course, Little Bear. Now, we'll take some small camping trips to prepare for this journey, but the one thing I don't know is how long Bear will be able to ride in a day. Not that we are in a rush, but there are a couple of spots along the route I was planning to put in a good 8 to 10 hours of riding before settling in for the night. Now, obviously we'll stop for walks and water and gas and food along the way, but that might be too long for Bear. I'm not really sure. Now, normally I plan to ride no more than 3 to 5 hours a day, except for those 2 days that I've got that I know are going to happen. So I'll have to do some practicing and see how he does, and then we'll just play it by ear. Now, as these videos progress through the tour stages, you'll notice I'll avoid Texas, southern Florida, New England, and an extended stay in Virginia. And that is only because Texas and Florida will be separate winter trips, and Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, and the Adirondacks of northern New York are perfect for small 2 to 3 week trips, and they'll be separate from the tour. And Virginia, of course, is Civil War country, so those will be separate research trips too. Okay, so now on to stage one, or as I like to call it, the get the heck out of Dodge leg of the tour. Okay, so this video is going way longer than I intended to, so I'm going to try and speed this up and keep it brief. This is stage one, the get out of Dodge stage, meaning I'm going to be departing from my home in Niagara Falls, and ultimately stage one is going to get me to the final destination, which is Badlands National Park in South Dakota. So my intent is to, first of all, break the very first rule I've got, which is no interstates, no highways. but I am leaving from Niagara Falls and I'm going to head west across Ontario to Sarnia and cross into the US there. Now that means I'm going to go past London, Ontario, where I went to university, and that whole area from here to Sarnia, I mean, I know it like the back of my hand. I really don't want to stay and tour any of it. I just want to get out and get through it and get into Michigan. And from there, I'm going to head north, ultimately to Mackinac City. And I want to see that bridge. That's actually one of the highlights of the first stage, is to photograph and see that bridge. And of course, I think I can get there in one day. Now, I'm not going to put a time frame on this, and it will depend on Little Bear and a little bit on weather as well. If I don't make it, I'll probably stay in Bay City, Michigan. And, you know, there's lots of stuff in northern Michigan that I don't really know what's there. And if anybody's got suggestions, I welcome them. But we'll cross the Mackinac River or Mackinac Bridge, and then head due west across the top of Minnesota, really. I've marked on the map here St. Cloud, Minnesota. There's really nothing in St. Cloud that I want to see, that I know of anyway. But by marking it, Google Maps kept me where I roughly wanted to go. By going through St. Cloud, I stay off the interstates, I am in the country roads, and from there I'm going to head south and west down to Badlands National Park, and I can't wait to get there. That is really where this trip starts for me. So that's stage one. If you guys have some suggestions of what I can add to that, please let me know. I know I will camp in a campground at Badlands, simply because that whole area is rattlesnake city, and I'm not really big on rattlesnakes, so I won't be boondocking in that area. But I can't wait to get there. So if you got any suggestions, let me know. There'll be a stage 2 coming up, and that's where the trip gets really interesting. Thanks for watching.